It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into some PvP action with this man right here, the new Kizuna Legend Shiryu. So, it's having a pretty rough weekend to be honest, and decided to do some multis, and we actually were very lucky and managed to pick him up on the 8th. I don't know if you call it very lucky to be honest, but we actually did a few more multis than I would have liked. We picked up Doll too. Look, I wanted to skip the banner, but like I said, silly mindsets create silly decisions. So we did this, and we're going to take him to the PvP today. Now, over in PvP, Shiryu is a powerhouse booster, and he does seem very interesting for the powerhouse squad. And I decided to put together like a full Blackbeard team going into PK level 150. It's not a meta team, this. It's just a bit of a fun team, to be honest, more than anything. I decided to just literally run the entire Blackbeard squad to take down the Yamato fight. But what Shiryu does in PvP is a little bit interesting. He has the ability to bypass defense. However, he only hits one unit. This is like not good. Like, only hitting one character is just a massive problem. I understand why they did it, because obviously Shiryu is doing the whole invisibility sneak attack where he hits Garb. I get it, and I understand what they're trying to do, but like in practicality, like it just doesn't really work that much. He gives level 6 HP, he gives level 6 attack, and then if you I think he gives crit as well, and then if you hit a critical with Shiryu, he gives level 4 attack and I believe speed, possibly, when he hits a crit, up to 2 times. So you can give like a level 8 buff on top of that, provided he hits those 2 critical hits, which honestly is very easy to do with him, because obviously he gives himself crit, but at the same time, it's always better to just have the buffs at your disposal rather than needing to do something to get them. But as you can see from that shot right there, he can hit very, very hard. He can basically just kill one unit 9 times out of 10, especially in the early stages of the fight if using stuff like Kuzan and getting the 20% cooldown there and whatnot as well. But the rest of the team, like I said, is built up with Blackbeard Pirates. I did bring Kuzan. He's probably the weakest link on this particular team. He's just here for some cooldown reduction, a bit of CD reduction and stuff like that. Ideally, you'd most likely have Luffy in the front and you'd sort of push off Kuzan and then replace with the bench with another hard hitter. You don't really need the CD reduction with this particular team. It moves fairly fast anyway, and Blackbeard's obviously nerfing the enemy too, having the 5 powerhouse characters. Blackbeard's an absolute menace. The 2 PvP rare recruits and legend in Pizarro and Silent One Wolf work exceptionally well. As long as you have 5 powerhouses, you do a lot of debuffing as well. So the team actually worked quite fluently against some of these bigger teams, but against some of the meta teams, it's definitely going to struggle. But I thought I'd take on the PK level 150 fights, just because I thought it'd be a little bit more fresh, rather than sort of just banging our head against the challenge fights and going in against fights that we've seen 100,000 times before. So, look, it just fell that way, kind of, to be honest. So, Powerhouse have become a very, very powerful squad. They have a lot of very, very powerful units at their disposal. But look, I don't know if I'm super sold on what Shiryu is bringing to the table and how he really affects the team, when Powerhouse just has so many other very, very good characters that they can use. Not so much characters that sort of buff Powerhouse in general, but just characters that are the Powerhouse typing that can find their way onto the team very, very nicely, depending on how you want to build out your squad. Obviously, you have Strength Luffy, you have Int Luffy, you can run Cracker for some cooldowns too. And then you have a lot of other characters in terms of the Dex variants, as well as a lot of Int, very, very powerful Int powerhouse characters too. However, Shiryu and running the Blackbeard Pirates is a lot of fun. I did enjoy sort of having a synergized team where we were running pretty much an entire crew. I think it'd be really cool to have some like mission-based content over in the PvP challenge fight, where they basically just rehash some of the challenge fights and reintroduce some missions with some scrolls and stuff like that, like beat the Pell challenge fight with an entire Blackbeard squad, or go through the challenge fights and beat with the Straw Hats. Something like that would be really, really cool, because putting together a full Blackbeard squad was actually, in terms of the front line, was actually pretty fun. 9 times out of 10 though, you want to run Luffy. Like, Luffy's going to be your guy. He's going to be the massive damage dealer. And when you sort of compare the pair between what Shiryu is doing with that 10,000 damage hit that's going through defense, and then what Luffy's doing where he's hitting like 6-7 times that's all going through defense, it's kind of just like scratching your head thinking like, why is this only one shot? Like, this is just weird. I feel like he needs to do a lot more. And like I said, I do understand why it is only one shot, but over in PvP, the practicality of what you're doing in the anime compared to what you're actually doing in PvP just doesn't make all that much sense. I feel like he should have like nerfed the entire team, buffed your squad a little bit more than just giving the level 6 crit, level 6 attack buff, and then hitting one particular character. I feel like he should have just nerfed the enemy team a little bit. Maybe reduce their cooldown reduction, reduce their speed, something like that, that just like kind of turns to something like throwing them off guard. Maybe give them some mischance or something like that would have been pretty cool. Not that it's like overly effective, but at the same time, at least it would have been just a little bit more than effectively just having one death shot that kind of just comes in and actually kills one unit. Because 9 times out of 10, like, killing one unit's great, but when you're versing an 8-man squad, like, taking down one unit is nothing compared to taking down 6. Like, it's just chalk and cheese at the end of the day. As for where Shiryu stands in Powerhouse, in terms of like a meta Powerhouse team, I'm actually a big fan of the meta Powerhouse team. I don't think Shiryu would find a run. I feel like having the PvP Rare Recruits and Legend Sanjuan Wolf, even having Kusan for like the amount of cooldowns he gives, and then Blackbeard and Luffy in the front, is just way better than running something like Shiryu. You could probably run him on the bench, I guess, have him come in at the back end of a fight, very similar to what Kuma's doing, and do some fun stuff there with like going through defense when it's like a 2-on-3 situation. That would probably be the best instance of where you could see the most value of Shiryu. But he's a HP buffer, so like ideally you want your HP buffing units to be in the front, so that way you maximize your gains for your HP stats. All in all, though, I don't think Shiryu's bad, not by any means. I think he is still a very, very good character, and definitely one that's going to be very annoying to see on some defensive-based builds, especially while we get more and more super crazy powerful PvP legends and PvP units that are just doing exceptionally powerful things in the front, and then just having these characters that can kind of come in, bypass defense, and hit really, really hard. At the end of the day, a character that's going to hit one unit is better than a character that has the chance of whiffing, in my opinion. Stuff like Kid, stuff like King, those types of units can be very, very frustrating to deal with, especially because like if they literally just don't hit anyone, it's just a whole wasted special, a whole wasted bench slot. So the fact that Shiryu's a legend does honestly hinder him a lot, because the fact that you have to cough up 55 costs is a big issue. But like I said, the more PvP units we get, the more PvP legends we have, and the more PvP rare recruits, the better off Shiryu's going to be. As I do think he's probably going to be better as a better bit of a bench base unit, or just one that you're not really going to run all that much. Again, doesn't mean that he's bad. It just means that right now he kind of doesn't fit on the meta. You do need to have a Blackbeard Pirate on the team to get the most out of his passive, but that's very easy to do because you are going to be running Blackbeard 9 times out of 10 when it comes to a Powerhouse team. The only reason you're not running Blackbeard is because you don't have Blackbeard. Like, if you don't have Blackbeard, there's literally no point running the Powerhouse team anyway. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. I mean, having the Pizarro and Sanjuan Wolf is pretty good, I guess. And then obviously Luffy's just an absolute menace. But at that particular point, you're better off just moving over to like a Dex Powerhouse build, or looking something like a Strength build if you're looking for Luffy. So that's going to be the main wave. But let me know what you guys think of Shiryu in the comment section below. If you pulled him, let me know down below. If you've tried him out in Rumble, where does he work best? Where do you see him working best? If you guys have read what he does and should be keen to see more content on Shiryu, let me know in the comment section below. But obviously we'll have some Kizuna stuff coming out very soon with this man as our leader. But if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Love!